week before the documentary was aired, we watched it for the first time. I thought we were all pretty proud of it, to be honest. We all liked it, and we all thought, oh, this is going to be a hit, this is.
The life we had together as four boys was just amazing.
It was coming to a 10-year anniversary of when the band split up, and of course, record companies being what they are, they thought 10 years on, a repackaged greatest hits, more record sales. The label took us out. They took three of us out.
We went to quite a nice restaurant and got a little bit of, we got a little bit proud and a little bit, we got a bit of attention, so we're all like, hey, this is good.
And then it got to the end of the evening and I said, come on, let's split off from the label.
We had a few drinks and we just started talking about stuff and saying, what if?
One drink led to another. And then Mark said, hey, by the way, lads, I've got something to tell you. In this sort of slightly drunken voice. And we were like, what? And he went, my manager's received an offer today from a promoter.
Surely we must be inside. Come on, guys, I can see it.
And I hear Howard go, that sounds like a good idea.
Gaz was like, oh, he says, I've been thinking the same thing, maybe we could do it.
As he's saying it, I'm thinking, oh, I'd love to do that. So Mark said, let's get Jay on the phone.
And Jason said, are you lot tanked up?
The other three lads had been drinking already in the pub. They were quite slopped up.
And we're like, no, we haven't had a drink, Jay, just on water.
And I was sober as a judge.
And we're like, Jay, we need to tell you something, where are you?
And I thought it was a bit of a blag at first.
He says, well, I'm on the North Circular heading home. I was like, no, get into town now.
It just seemed obvious to me straight away that they were far too drunk to make sensible decisions.
2 hours later, Jay arrived. A few more drinks have been sunk in the meantime.
I was the only one out of us five, including Robbie, that had not been involved in the music industry in the last 10 years.
Even though he was probably the most reticent to wanting to get on stage, there was an intrigue, I could see it in his face.
Because it'd always been talked about before, about us touring again, but it was the first time we'd had like a solid offer.
I was more scared about the protection of the name Take That. We finished at the best time we possibly could. Go out on a number one.
I was scared, you know what I mean? I think I was just about getting anonymous again.
And we sat and chatted for about 4 hours, around at Gary's. I think I left at 6. Sun was coming up, and we said, let's do it. And then I think the next day, the apprehension setting in is a bit like, oh, we're making the right decision.
In the back of my mind, I was hoping it was going to happen, but I just knew that the other boys would probably be more negative about the idea of it.
We were always very proud of our shows in the past, and I think we were mainly sitting around, saying, can we actually do this? Even if we thought, let's do it, is it physically possible?
Thanks, mate. Good evening, gentlemen. Can I interest anybody in a small concert?
My issues about going on tour were to do with, I'm 35 years old. We were a boy band, 15 years ago. And I really believe we were brilliant 15 years ago. We had that sort of boyish cockiness, if you like, you know what I mean? Which I've lost since.
All right, matey?
I am alright, how about you, sir?
No, I'm good, mate.
You alright?
Yeah.
2 or 3 minutes before the press conference, I was that close to turning to the other 3 lads and saying, lads, this is a joke. We can't really do this. Who we're trying to kid, we can't go on tour again. Honestly, it was that close before the press conference.
I was very scared, but I was more excited about it. I think it's one of those things you think might never happen.
But the reason I didn't turn to the lads and say it in the end was because the alternative was getting in my car, driving back to Manchester, And I tried to picture that in my head driving back to Manchester, having said to the lads I can't do it and not announcing to the press that we're going to do it. And that didn't sit comfortable either in my head. That was worse than actually going for it, if you know what I mean. So at the time it felt like I was choosing the best of two evils. That was my conundrum, that was my predicament.
Put your old self in, your old self out. In, out, you shake it all about. You do the okie dokie and you turn around. That's what it's all about.
After making the announcement, we got ushered into a side room, and I felt like I wanted to be sick, and that's when I knew it was real, because it was a real vomiting feeling. Shit, we're going on tour.
I'm really scared. I've actually got stomachache.